You're listening to The Boy Who Wanted to Be King of the Ants, written and told by Purdy Brock Jenkins. This recording was made for listeners on YouTube Music, as well as social media networks around the world. It's a brand new folktale from the Purdyville Library, so go on and get comfortable. Grab a snack or 7. After all, 7 snacks are better than 1 or 3. Put your feet up and relax. A good book is always better with a good snack. Ready? 3, 2, 1. There once was a boy named Leonard who didn't want much. Just a little crown, a kingdom, and someone to listen when he talked. He wasn't a loud boy, or even particularly clever, but he felt things deeply and all at once, and that, more than anything, made him strange to the other children. They laughed when he stared at clouds. They rolled their eyes when he cried for worms after it rained. And when he said out loud that he planned to become king one day, they told him to eat dirt. So he did. He tried it. It tasted like roots and disappointment. After that, Leonard stopped telling the children anything. Instead, he wandered, not far, just as far as the fence allowed. He liked the edge of things. That's where he found the ants. They lived in the ground beneath the hydrangeas, in a small and bustling city of soil. They were tireless, organized, and never asked questions like, "What are you supposed to be?" Leonard was in awe. He sat beside their hill for 3 afternoons without speaking, just watching. On the 4th day, he bowed his head and whispered, "Would you let me be your king?" The ants did not answer, but they did not run away either. And that felt like something. Leonard took it as a sign. He began bringing them gifts, things he thought might matter in an ant's life. A sugar cube the size of their entire town, a single raisin, slightly squished, but still noble, 1/2 of a broken candy heart that said, "Be mine." Each morning he offered his treasures, and each night he watched the ants carry them, carefully, clumsily, together, into the mysterious dark of their underground world. They accept me, he thought. Maybe not as king yet, but as someone useful. So he made plans. He drew little maps in a spiral notebook, labeling tunnels he had never seen. He imagined tiny chairs made of cork and string, where the ant council would sit. He wrote a speech, just in case. "My dear 6-legged friends." And he waited. But the ants never changed. They never bowed or cheered or danced in his honor. They didn't even stop to look at him. They just worked, constantly, like they had more important things to do than dream about kings. Still, Leonard kept showing up. He brought crumbs from his lunch, droplets of honey on popsicle sticks, a little paper umbrella from a drink his uncle had left on the porch. Then one afternoon, a terrible thing happened. The boy next door, big, clumsy, and endlessly loud, came stomping into the yard. He didn't see the anthill. He didn't care. With one careless foot, he crushed the edge of the city. Leonard cried out, "Ah!" But it was too late. So he knelt beside the mound, gently, reverently, and tried to fix what had been broken. But how do you rebuild a world you never truly understood? That night, Leonard couldn't sleep. He worried. He whispered apologies into the wind, and then he made a promise. "Tomorrow," he said, "I'll build them something better, something strong, something worthy." Because even if they never saw him as king, he loved them. And sometimes Leonard believed that was the most important thing. The next morning, Leonard woke up early, before the birds, before his parents, before the light had finished setting on the world. He brought his notebook, a roll of tape, a plastic spoon, and quiet hands. He dug with care, just enough to clear a space beside the hill, not through it. He flattened the dirt like a garden path and placed a spoon at the edge like a gate. Then he began construction. First, a wall of popsicle sticks, held upright with globs of peanut butter and hope. Then a roof made from the foil of a candy wrapper, which shimmered whenever the sun nodded its approval. He called it the Hall of Ants, and it was beautiful in a way only children and insects could understand. He didn't tell anyone. The next few days Leonard waited, not for a coronation, not anymore, just for a sign. A crumb placed at the doorstep, a speck of dirt rearranged into a tiny thank you. But the ants kept working. They did not go into the hall. They did not sit in the chairs made of bark. They did not care. And something in Leonard began to ache. That weekend, rain came. Not a drizzle, but the kind that sweeps through like an apology that took too long to arrive. It flattened the foil roof, melted the peanut butter. The hall caved in on itself like a broken promise. Leonard stared at the wreckage, then at the anthill, which had survived untouched. He didn't cry, not this time. He just sat. And as he sat, a thought came to him, not the kind that makes you grin, but the kind that makes you grow. Maybe they don't need a king. It was strange saying it out loud like that. Like letting go of a balloon you held for years, watching it drift, wondering if it had ever really been yours. He stood up, dusted his hands, and walked away. That night he dreamed, not of thrones or crowns, but of walking quietly beside a great parade of ants, all going somewhere he didn't need to understand, and it was enough. The next morning, Leonard did not bring crumbs. He didn't whisper. He simply walked past the anthill on his way to the fence line and smiled when he saw them working, just as they always had. He spent the day chasing shadows, throwing rocks into puddles, pretending to be a storm. He laughed so hard his ribs hurt, and once, just once, he felt like the world had made room for him. When he passed the anthill again at sunset, he bowed, not deeply, but with a kind of ease, a gesture of peace, of mutual not belonging. And that night, something unexpected happened. As the moon rose, and Leonard lay in bed listening to the hush of the world, he thought he saw a small figure moving across his windowsill. Tiny, quick, familiar. He sat up. And there, in the faintest spill of light, was a single ant. It paused, looked up, then turned and walked away. No parade, no fanfare, no crown, just one ant, on its way somewhere. And somehow, that meant everything. In the days that followed, Leonard no longer watched the ants. He noticed them, of course, crossing the porch, threading their way through the sidewalk cracks, carrying crumbs like tiny secrets. But he no longer hovered or offered speeches. He let them be. Instead, he turned his attention elsewhere, to the clouds that change shape every 5 minutes, to the way frogs blink slowly, like they're listening, to the quiet hush of the world when it thinks no one is paying attention. Leonard didn't stop dreaming. He just stopped dreaming of ruling. He began collecting odd-shaped rocks, learning the names of birds, and drawing maps of places that didn't exist, places where kings weren't needed, because no one wanted to be in charge. He still brought food outside sometimes, but not for the ants, just for the ritual of it. A picnic with no one but himself. Half an apple, a biscuit, a folded napkin, because it felt important to be polite, even when alone. And one afternoon, something unexpected happened. He was sitting by the edge of the fence, humming a tune he didn't remember learning, when he felt a tickle on his hand. He looked down. It was an ant, small, dark, moving across his knuckles like a question. He didn't move. The ant paused, tapped once with its antenna, then kept going. Leonard didn't follow it. He just smiled. There was no throne, no ceremony, no title, but there was a feeling, not large, not loud, but steady. It was the feeling of being noticed. Later that evening, as the sky turned the color of things people forget to name, Leonard asked his father a question. "Do you think ants care about us?" His father looked up from his newspaper, thought for a moment, then shrugged. "Maybe. Or maybe they just do what they do, and let us believe whatever helps us sleep." Leonard nodded, as if that made perfect sense. Because in a way, it did. And so the boy who once longed to be king became something smaller, but somehow greater. Not a ruler, not a savior, not even a friend. Just a quiet presence at the edge of things, the kind of person the ants might never think about, but never step on either. That's all for now. If the story left something with you, keep it. Let it ride around in your thoughts for a while. These tales weren't meant to explain the world, just to notice it a little more kindly. And if you enjoyed being here, well, I'll be back with more stories, more questions dressed up like answers. Till then, take care of yourself and take care of the ants. If this made you smile or feel something fuzzy and wonderful, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. Also give me a comment. What ideas do you have for the next story? I'll keep telling stories if you keep listening. This has been Purdy Brock Jenkins, talking slow about things that move fast. I hope you enjoyed the story. It was a very good story. I especially liked the part where Leonard tried to rebuild the anthill after the other boy stepped on it. It was very noble, but also very sad. Remember for next time that we need more snacks. A good book is always better with a good snack. See you next time, and have a sleepy Joe night. End of story.